Shogun, what was named the Game of Thrones killer, has come to an end, and it had everyone up in the ante talking about, oh my god, this is cinema. This is
you.
Yeah, it was
you.
me. Yeah.
It was all of us.
I'm
nigga.
saying
Don't even lie.
I'm saying
only you and Roy. That's it.
Hey, we all watched the first episode.
No, I didn't.
At least.
Don't put that on.
Except for
There you go. I didn't. Not one bit.
So the show ended, and I gotta say, it was the most lackluster thing that I've experienced since, I guess, the ending of Game of Thrones itself.
Shocked. We're all shocked.
This whole show was leading up to a war that like literally never happened, and the way they showed the war was like armies pull up, he gets a letter, and that's it. That's the end. That's the fight. I was saying, yo, this show got to be better than Game of Thrones, bro. Look at the acting. The acting is crazy in here. We got heavy hitters in this bitch. The cinematography looks great. The sets look fucking amazing. The story is interesting. And now I gotta say, like, this is a big nothing ass sandwich, bro. So
Okay, man.
I forced myself to watch this shit. It seems like what was happening was like, all right, the show starts and you thinking some shit about to go crazy, and it's just dialogue after dialogue after dialogue after dialogue, and nothing's happening. You get to the end of the show, something crazy happened. You're like, damn, I can't wait for the next episode. Rinse and repeat, literally rinse and repeat every single other episode. It's not a bad show, but it's not nothing that like I'm not about to fucking praise for. It's
it's mid. He's saying mid. You're saying
it's mid.
like
yeah.
we said Game of Thrones to start off with.
Game of
bro.
Thrones is
Like
crazy.
Game of
Compared
Thrones
to-
killer. That's what it was being like called,
Yeah.
and the trailer for this shit looks crazy, and the show just does not do that whatsoever. Abdul, you just finished the show, even though I told you didn't have to, so just watch a YouTube video. But what did you think? What did you think of it?
Honestly, like, I was with you. I think I was, and I'm not mad at you saying that, because I said the same thing around like episode 5 or 6, where it felt like it kept hyping up to something that was gonna happen, or some big intricate like kill or betrayal or something like that we're leading up to. But I guess one of my by episode 7 or 8, I kind of like changed my framing of the show, where I'm like, I don't think there's gonna be some big battle. I think this show is literally all about like how smart Toranaga was, and how he planned and executed everything to the T, how far he was willing to go, like the way, like what he was willing to do to pretty much get his plan executed. So he was willing to kill off his own people, burn Blackthorn's like ship and everything to keep him fucking trapped in and shit like that, sacrifice Mariko and shit like that. I honestly, not gonna lie, I enjoyed my stay. I think this was a pretty solid show. Like I thought that I was gonna come in here really bashing the show right now, but I really liked it. I like the themes it was kind of like really trying to explore. Like, is there real nobility in having blind loyalty? And a lot of people are thinking like loyalty is everything, otherwise it's not loyalty. You don't pick and choose when you're loyal or anything like that. But what is the nobility in trying to just be senseless and leading yourself to your own death? Like, how do I know, or something? Like, how do I know what's going to happen in the future? Like, what is my real purpose and things like that? I think it touched on the right themes that we were looking to understand. At least that's what I was getting from the last like 2 or 3 episodes. Spoiler: when Mariko dies, I was pretty sad. That ending hit. I mean, not the ending, but that episode really hit. Like watching her just. They keep teasing you throughout the whole episode. Apparently in the old show, they did the same thing where like she goes and gets captured and tries to like sacrifice herself to save the other ladies that can leave and shit. And she's doing that all as to die like as a martyr to show that, you know, do we have real freedom or not? Am I gonna serve my lord or not? And I think all of that landed to me. I know by like episode 4 or 5, I think I was texting you that and saying, son, this shit is getting boring. But
Damn.
it was something, I guess, if my expectations changed, as we said at the start of the pod, where if you keep them low enough, you might not be disappointed. And I think by the time the show ended, I'm like, honestly, I'm like really curious what happened in real life. And I started like Googling, like, how did this, like, what happened in real life? What happened in the original book? What happened
Why'd
in the
this go
original
bad?
series? And I just want to understand the shit. And it was cool to know that, all right, even though we got the war as like a flash forward scene, as like a potential of what's gonna happen and shit.
Like I got a letter, and that was it.
It landed for me. It landed somehow. Like it actually did stick that landing. You never really knew where Toranaga's head was at, but you knew that he did things in a very precise manner. And I thought all the other characters came full circle. Blackthorn came full circle. I think, what was his name? Yabushega or something. The dude that was his like mans the whole time, who betrayed him, who allowed Mariko to die, like being all guilt ridden. You saw him from the very first episode, like threatening to kill himself, and then finally gets his end at the end. I don't know, man. I mean, I think if you maybe you look at it as not like this is not Ghost of Tsushima.
And that's kind of what I was expecting it to be, but it's not whatsoever. This show was advertised as, you know, a feudal Japan like war drama, and it's not that at all. Which isn't a bad thing. It's still a good show, and I feel like because it was advertised towards me as a feudal Japan war drama, that's what I was expecting out of it. But that couldn't be further from the truth. It's still a drama. It's still in feudal Japan. It's still a good show, just not the show I was expecting. And I also want to say, like, the show's not ass. It's not a bad show at all. You have to go into it with the mindset that this isn't gonna be a all-out type of war show. This is going to be a very diplomatic ass show. But do I wish the show matched my expectations? Yes, but
And everybody on this pod right now, I feel bad for you because I know you was really looking forward to this joint, nigga. Like you was honest, and you put the gun to everybody and said, yo, I need y'all niggas to watch this joint. So it's fast, kind of funny.
I do think it could have benefited from like a few more episodes. I think we could have seen things fleshed out a little bit more. I think like just to give you some credence, like I do think some of the shit they chose to do, like Blackthorn's character, we never really saw why Toranaga really liked him. Like we never really got that understanding. Like he's supposed to be the one to train them how to use ships and cannons and things like that, but we never really saw that come to fruition that way until like the very, very last moment of him like finally building his ship again and shit. Even though he became like his Hatamoto and shit like that, we didn't really get to see. Like, I didn't like the one scene of how John wanted his crew back the whole show, and then he sees his man's drunk, and that's it. He just chose to like not fuck with him anymore. That's it. That's all it took for you to be like, nah, I'm good. I want to go back to Japan and stay in Japan. We're not leaving anymore. I'm like, son, you went through wars with your guy, and all of a sudden you see him drunk one time. That's all it took for you to be like, I'm good off of him. There were some little things like that where I'm like, maybe we could have fleshed this out a little bit more. Maybe we could have seen a little bit more of like why the Anjin was so, I don't know, important to the story, because in real life apparently he's the one that like teaches them how to trade and shit like that, and like helps Toranaga a lot throughout the war and stuff. But we didn't really see that. We just got to see the hint of it and maybe his like growing passion for him or some shit.
Well, this is a miniseries, so you know you're not gonna get that in-depth look at everything, but everything that we did get, you know, I'm a fan of. Like, I never knew that much. Like, I'm a fan of anime, but I never knew that much about like feudal Japan culture, and now I feel like I know a lot about it now. I am disappointed, you know, not gonna lie, I am disappointed. I was looking for my Samurai Ghost of Tsushima show, and that's not what I got, but that's what I wanted, but it's not what the show is, and I'm sad about it. But
we didn't get a single like one-on-one fight. All of the action was about like choosing to do what you're gonna do next, and like really really committing to that decision or not. And then a lot of it was interpretation of what was being said. So like, even though I'm saying this to you, you're probably not gonna listen, so you're gonna go do your own thing anyways. Or
that's what I really don't like. It's a lot of fucking sneak dissing, bro. Like, say what you want to say.
Yeah, or like saying like you know your man's is gonna betray you, so I'm gonna feed this person information so that I know I can confirm that this person betrayed me. So like a lot of that was the show. And I will say, like, yeah, this was a hard show to watch while you're like, it's not a background show. You gotta fucking read the subtitles.
Yeah.
So.
Bro, that is literally why I didn't catch up. Like,
it's hard.
And I like Japanese and I like reading my subtitles, but something about reading those subtitles and can't look at my phone.
Yo, I gotta focus.
It's like in-depth ass conversation be going on. These niggas be having like intellectual ass fucking conversations. You gotta pay attention.
I'm literally telling my girl like, yo, you can't look at your phone for this show. This is like, you got to be in there. And
didn't they get picked up for a season 2?
No, it's a miniseries. It's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you're not engaged in it, then you're gonna lose something. I had to rewind a couple times while I was watching the shit, and I'm like, fuck.
Are you okay with the ending just being like he kills old boy and he just, I guess, just stands at the sunset, then eventually a month passes by and he gets the letter and such happens, but like, does he become the ruler? What happens? Like,
he's pretty much the one that's gonna stop wars from happening in Japan and stuff like that. So that was the idea, that it happens, that like all of his bannermen betray the other guy because they're not gonna go with you because they saw that you wanted war and stuff, and then you not letting Mari go free and stuff like that. So because of that, we're not giving you us, and your bannermen are gonna betray you. And I think they said was it in real life he executed him immediately? Like, apparently Ishido like fled from the battlefield and like he executed him, beheaded him and shit. So there was that. In the book or something, I think they said they like stuffed him in the ground or buried him alive or some shit. It was crazy. But Yeah, I actually was. I know it sounds like a real cop out, but we didn't see the war. But honestly, I didn't mind it because I think I got what the show was trying to aim at the entire time, like by like really kind of like lasering in on what was being said at that point. I enjoyed it. I might watch it again. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it might be like one of them things where either I'll watch like the original series one more time, or just try to like understand the like points of it and shit better.
You're not wrong and wanting to watch it again. It's a good show. I just like go in it with the right mindset. Don't go in it like thinking what I was thinking.
It's not a war.